This week on In Focus SoCal, as Los Angeles faces rising homelessness and a lack of access to services, efforts to protect and uplift underrepresented communities are taking center stage. In the heart of Skid Row, we visit the Los Angeles Poverty Department, where storytelling and performance art are giving unhoused Angelenos a powerful voice. Then we check in with LA County Supervisor Holly Mitchell on the fight to protect essential services amid federal funding cuts. And later, Capri Maddox from the LA Civil Rights Department on expanding equity and access for underserved communities. In Focus SoCal starts right now. Welcome to In Focus SoCal. I'm Tanya McRae. The homelessness crisis in Los Angeles has been the focus of policy debates and public frustration for years. But in the heart of Skid Row, one program is turning pain into purpose, using the performing arts as a catalyst for hope, connection, and a new perspective on what it means to rebuild a life.
Deserving poor versus the undeserving poor.
It's a sensitive subject, who society sees as deserving help and who it does not. But it's exactly the kind of conversation the Los Angeles Poverty Department is bringing to the stage. The Skid Row-based performance group is made up largely of people who are homeless or formerly homeless, using theater and the arts to challenge stereotypes, amplify voices, and advocate for change.
I wasn't in any hurry because I was having some really powerful experiences living in Skid Row that to me were very positive.
Like all of the people in this group, Tom Grody is one of the writers and actors in this performance. And like all of them, he has first-hand experience of life in Skid Row.
I ended up unhoused. My finances collapsed. I thought I was going to have to go back east and kind of start over again. And then I found out at Union Rescue Mission in Skid Row, which is a huge homeless shelter, they actually had a program where you could give them $150 a month and live in their men's dorm, a bunk bed type situation for people who are going through some sort of transition.
Tom spent 3.5 years living in Skid Row, and although it was a period of upheaval and change for him, it also turned into a profound personal journey.
The community sang along to the oldies. We had food and clothes.
Tom spent years in Hollywood writing screenplays and casting for film and television. But behind the credits, he says he felt empty and unhappy. Then came a long stretch of unemployment, financial ruin, and the loss of nearly everything. He thought he'd need to find a new profession. What he found instead was a powerful community helping people rebuild their lives through art, dignity, and support.
I worked in the entertainment industry for a long time, and when I left, I wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. And as I learned and understood more about LAPD, that it wasn't like theater in the Hollywood sense, but really a form of advocacy. At that point, I got involved, and as soon as I got involved, I threw everything into it.
Safety, clean air. Clean air.
Peace.
The Los Angeles Poverty Department, also known as LAPD, was founded in 1985 by director, performer, and activist John Malpede.
I was invited to do a performance workshop, and instead of lasting for 5 minutes, it ended up lasting for 41 years.
LAPD was the first performance group of its kind in the country. The performances are all original pieces, with a lot of the content coming from the direct experiences of the writers and performers themselves.
I remember encountering a homeless woman on 7th Street a few years ago, trying to cover herself up with a tarp near Skid Row, while others walked past her on the sidewalk as if she was invisible to them.
This performance is called Hotels in Crisis and addresses both the history and the current situation of the single-room occupancy hotels, or SROs, where thousands of people reside in dilapidated and unsafe conditions.
Skid Row is a community that takes care of each other.
The neighborhood is often vilified and claimed to be just a place with transients, but in fact, there are people who've been living here for 20, 30, 40 years.
LAPD works with drug recovery programs, shelters, and public policy advocates on various initiatives. John says it's important and empowering for the Skid Row narrative to be in the hands of the people of Skid Row.
Everyone in the group, we improvise and we discuss and we write. It brings people together. It inspires people. to use the entire resources of their being. And so it just makes people feel whole. And if you feel whole, then you can negotiate all the difficult things that you have to go through in life a little better.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if there could be a house for young homeless kids with a garden?
In addition to the performances, LAPD also has exhibitions, a film series, panel discussions, festivals, and a Skid Row museum. For Tom, being involved in this kind of theater-based civic engagement has been a kind of reawakening.
I really feel like I've discovered my creativity in a whole new way. I can take the same creativity, but now channel it for, social justice, humanitarian, systemic change purposes. It's like, I could blend my creativity with something that I feel is actually making things better rather than just a goal of entertaining people for a half hour on TV.
Channeling creativity into creating social change, that is very powerful. The Los Angeles Poverty Department will be performing their Hotels in Crisis play on Saturday, May 23rd. For more information, go to lapovertydept.org. Up next, Supervisor Holly Mitchell on protecting critical resources that impact communities across LA. Stay with us. Welcome back to In Focus SoCal. As federal funding cuts hit communities across the country, major cities like New York, Chicago, and San Francisco are already scaling back programs tied to education, transportation, and social services. Here in LA County, the impact is hitting public health programs, childcare assistance, and resources for vulnerable families. But county leaders are working to protect critical services during this period of economic uncertainty. Los Angeles County Supervisor Holly Mitchell, who represents the 2nd District, has been leading county efforts to protect many of those services, and she joins me now. Always good to see you, Supervisor Mitchell.
Great to be with you, Tanya.
So something that's really important is that along with Supervisor Lindsay Horvath, you launched a countywide initiative called Shared Prosperity Pledge to address rising poverty amid federal funding cuts to food and health programs. What are the top goals of that effort right now?
Well, Tanya, it's amazing to me to acknowledge the fact that low-income working families leave about $1 billion on the table every year, money that they are entitled to through tax credits or financial assistance, because they're either not enrolled in the program or don't know that they are eligible for these benefits. And so this is an effort to get the 88 cities across LA County to join the county in getting the message out. We want to increase enrollment in CalWORKs by 10,000 families. We want to make sure that people who are eligible for Medi-Cal and CalFresh enroll and stay on it. And so this is our effort to engage the cities to help us reach our shared constituents and let them know about these benefits that, again, they're entitled to.
$1 billion, that is a very big number.
It is. And again, families are working every day. Tanya, I was a mother. You're going to work. People are working multiple jobs. And sometimes they just don't know about the benefits that they're entitled to. Yeah. Or these tax credits, the childcare tax credits, that sometimes people are so low income that they don't have to file taxes because they earn so little. And we're encouraging them to go to some of the free tax preparation programs to find out if you're eligible for these credits. If they file their taxes, this is money that will be paid back to them. So we want people to know about it. And so we're asking our cities to share in this pledge to help us reach their constituents so we can get the news out as much as possible. People are hurting, so now is not the time to leave any money on the federal table.
Yeah, they really need to get the word out about all the programs that are available to people.
Absolutely.
That's so important. You're also supporting Measure ER, which is up for a vote to raise LA County's general sales tax by 0.5% to help navigate the federal funding cuts. How will the measure specifically help Los Angeles County residents? I imagine people are going to hear something, taxes are being raised, and start frowning at just the thought of it.
They do, and I understand that because people are hurting. I hear it all the time from my very own family, friends, and neighbors. But let me set the table a little bit. We just talked about this effort to try to alleviate poverty. You know, when we talk about poverty in this county or in this state, you know, we're talking about 100% of the federal poverty level. That's a family of 4 earning $33,000 a year. And we know with gas, food prices, and the rising everyday cost of housing, people are struggling. Add to that, Tanya, the federal government, through the passage of a new federal law, H.R. 1, has cut healthcare costs exponentially. It's the highest cut to healthcare in our nation's 250-year history. We're looking at over $750 million cut to only our Department of Healthcare Services in the county. It's going to be devastating. And so that means people are going to lose their health care coverage. That means my public health department is going to have to lay off people like public health nurses in the middle of this measles, epidemic that's sweeping across our country. That means we could potentially close a public hospital in LA County. We've already closed 7 of our 13 county health clinics. And so that's because of H.R. 1. The state is clear that they can't bail out the federal government. So we have got to figure out how we find resources to keep LA County healthy. And so this is half a penny for only 5 years. It's till 2031. That's 50 cents on every $100 we spend. That also, we've made sure that we've excluded some purchases. Food will not be taxed as always, and medications won't be taxed. So we are hoping that LA County residents who want to make sure that there's an emergency room available if you need it. We want to make sure that our Medi-Cal, our lowest income and our most fragile residents have access to health care when they need it. Already in my district alone, 74,000 people have lost access to Medi-Cal. And a good percentage of those people are children. And so I and many of my colleagues in the Board of Supervisors felt that we had to step up to the plate and do all that we can to try to keep LA County healthy. You know, FIFA is coming to LA County and the Olympics 2 years after, and people are coming to our county expecting to have a public health and a health infrastructure ready to receive people from all over the world. And in order to do that, we have got to pass Measure ER to make sure that we can keep ourselves safe and the world safe when they come to our beloved county.
You co-authored a motion with Supervisor Janice Hahn to expand mental health services in community spaces where residents typically gather. And earlier in our program, we featured a story on the Los Angeles Poverty Department in Skid Row, which uses theater and storytelling to uplift and empower people experiencing homelessness. And one of the things we heard from the performers was that many unhoused residents feel unseen or disconnected. Talk about the county programs that will improve access to services for Angelenos and those who are unhoused.
I appreciate that question, and the county is running any number of programs trying to do just that. But the one you're referring to with regard to our motion is a program I'm really excited about. It's called LEAP, Library Engagement and Access Program. It was a program that the county ran prior to COVID. We had to stall it, and it's come back. We recognize that many of our unhoused family, friends, and neighbors go to our local libraries. They go for shelter and respite during the summer when it's hot. They go to use the computer, have access to internet to try to access many of our public benefit programs. And so we want to make sure that our unhoused residents and those suffering from mental health issues have access to the support and resources they need. So we're providing training and resources to librarians to provide them access to homeless services, and mental health professionals actually at the library to provide direct assistance and support. This is, Tanya, in my opinion, taking the resources kind of out of our government buildings and infrastructure to the community, meeting people where they are at their time of need.
Well, it sounds like you have so many county programs that are addressing a broad range of issues that Angelenos are struggling with. Supervisor Mitchell, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you more, Tanya. Thank you.
Still ahead on In Focus SoCal, the head of the LA Civil Rights Department talks about the powerful impact of the city's LA for All campaign. Welcome back to In Focus SoCal. As conversations around civil rights and DEI continue to make headlines across the country, we're taking a closer look at the Los Angeles Civil Rights, Human Rights, and Equity Department. It was formally established by the Los Angeles City Council in 2020. The department works to protect residents from discrimination and support underserved communities across the city. Executive Director Capri Maddox joins me now to discuss the department's latest initiative. So good to see you again, Capri.
And so great to be here with you, Tanya. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So the Civil Rights, Human Rights, and Equity Department was formed in June of 2020, and I remember first interviewing you on In Focus just as the department was getting up and running. Explain why the LA Civil Rights Department was created at that time and the role that it plays.
We had a number of things happening, like the COVID-19 crisis, Asian Pacific Islander hate crimes soaring, and of course, we all know in May of 2020, George Floyd was murdered right before our eyes. So the city was reeling with a lot of issues, and the tornado of what could go wrong was happening in America, and it was impacting our city in a significant way.
Yeah, it absolutely was. I mean, the timing of when you started could not have been more appropriate for all of the things that were happening. And what are some of the top issues your team responds to across the city?
We are intentional to send a strong message that hate has no home in Los Angeles through our award-winning hate crime prevention campaigns. We also are united to make sure that we deal with the discrimination and the inequities the city has been dealing with for many years through our Office of Race and Equity to make sure we have funding and programming for community-based organizations. We did a program with participatory budgeting where we have $8.5 million going to our community partners, community-based organizations who are trusted by the community. We also are doing upward mobility programming where we're helping people get into the middle class and beyond. That's college and career readiness, financial literacy, and making sure that we open doors that have been closed in the past.
Talk about the progress that's been made since the department was established almost 6 years ago.
We are grateful that we have 19 community partners from East LA Community Corporation down to the work happening with street medicine at Charles Drew University, all the way to thinking about the programs with the YMCA and others. Of our 19 groups, we're providing resources for through our participatory budgeting program. So $8.5 million committed to community-based groups is already in progress.
The Civil Rights Department has a unique initiative called LA is for Everyone. Talk about the goal with this campaign, and I'm curious how Angelenos have responded to it.
We couldn't be more grateful for how LA has embraced this campaign. We have some of our business partners like US Bank Tower lights up in our colors for LA for All Week in September, along with USC and other buildings, just illuminating the city. The Ritz-Carlton and others have done it for us. We are intentional to make sure that on our city properties and assets, like as soon as you come into LAX, you see a message of unity, that Los Angeles is truly for everyone, rec and parks. As I was coming to work today, I saw it on a sanitation vehicle, right? And it has become the city's motto that LA is for everyone and LA is open for everyone.
And May is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Can you talk about your department's partnerships with the AA and HPR community and the initiatives that are a priority?
Yes, yes, yes. We are so excited. We work with the Thai CDC. We have a number of partners from the Korean churches to the work with Face LA. We want to be Hypen M, for example, helps us with our home buyer programs. And so we are grateful for the partnerships and to celebrate all of Los Angeles. We want to be intentional when you think about Filipino Town, Koreatown, Little Tokyo. My office is in Little Tokyo, actually. We want to be intentional to support all communities. However, during May, we celebrate AAPI Heritage Month, and the Asian American Pacific Islander communities really are the muscle in so many ways on a lot of initiatives. We want to be intentional to say, even on the business community side, we have allies who are lifting a better Los Angeles for the AAPI community. And we love partnering on these programs and with these leaders and doing events like the Mayor Shine LA event to be in 5 communities this month, to be intentional to show how we clean and grow and build a better Los Angeles.
You're doing such important work for the city, Capri. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you for having me, Tanya. Keep the faith and keep the fight. And you can find more information about us at laisforeveryone.com. Take care.
That does it for this edition of In Focus SoCal. Tell us about what's going on in your community. You can reach us at infocussocal@charter.com. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.